Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome in another episode of Blonde Ambitions podcast. Today, I have an amazing guest. He really is. I say that every week, but this one's a good one. He's a working actor, director, and producer. Some of his credits include Law and Order, Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, plus he has over 18 film credits under his belt. He's also the CEO of his own business, Booming Community Actor Advisor. Today, guys, I have William Jefferson. How
What's
are you,
up?
Will?
I am good. I am blessed. Thank God I'm here. I just got off work, so I'm feeling good. Cheers to the weekend, Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah, that's right. Who are you rooting for? Who are you going for?
Whoever, because I'm not really a NFL fan. I'm more of a college football fan.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, team's been out. I'm a Niner fan, so
Okay.
they've been out for a minute. But if I
Yeah.
had to choose, it would have to be the Eagles because I'm
Mm.
sorry. I love you, Kansas City. I
Uh-huh.
love you, Travis Kelce, but it's time for someone else. Okay, we got to get especially Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, come on, they've been
Yeah.
killing it this year.
I'm from Chicago, so the Bears, they've been out.
The Bears.
Go Bears! Woo.
That's funny. So Will and I connected through the HWC community, where he's also now a mentor that I did not have in your bio intro.
Oh,
But you are also a mentor with HWC. I mean, just in general, I would recommend HWC. What for actors what is about HWC that you think the actors should join and get in that community?
Back in like 2019, had just, I was done with college, but like getting back into acting because I've always done acting at 18 is when I started like my first acting job, a popular web series. Graduated from college, came back, and I didn't know where to go or what to do. So I started to do like some background work, and I was like, this is cool, this is fun, but I'm like, how do I get a speaking role? And so I was just like Googling stuff, and I'm like, let me Google up like how to get a speaking role. And,
Yeah.
so there was a couple of names that popped up. It was Amy Jo, that was a name, Wendy, Alane, Wright, Kurt Yu, and I was just like, who is this lady? Who's this lady with this blonde hair? Like she's everywhere. She's got over 100 videos about the industry. I'm like, is she a scam? I'm like, let's see. And then she was just talking about, she has this big group on Facebook called Talent Managers for Actors, TMFA. I was like, let me go see. So I went to go check it out. It was thousands of people in there, and she was just like giving the real and the raw. And so I was like, and she was like, well, drop your actor access in here. And I'll tell you, because at this time, I did have an agent, and I just wasn't getting like as much opportunities. And she was like, well, drop your actor access, and I'll tell you why. And she told me from the T, like from the headshot, the resume, the reel, she's like, you only got one headshot up on here. You don't have clips. You have background on here. You don't have where's your training at? And I was just like, wow, she knows her shit. All right. I probably need to like get into her workshop. I mean, her core course. And so, I did, and it wasn't much at the time. I think I had caught it right on the sale. This was like November, right when the Black Friday. So I was like, all right, I was like, I have nothing to lose. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So I started going in the course, and like immediately, it just like changed my life. Like the family, like the community, and like the cast and directors coming in, the agents coming in, the working actors coming in, like mindset coaching, and just like all of that was just like, I needed this. And so I'm glad I spent my hard-earned money for it. Like it was worth way more. Like she could be charging way, way more. And so once I joined the community, I ended up learning pretty fast and getting things done pretty fast. And so then I started to switch agents, and I immediately started booking like crazy. I started taking Mike Portner's class and reading Amy Linden's book and listening to Lisa Zambetti like coming in, and everybody, Sean Perez going over my headshots and my type, like grabbing everything from everybody. And so I always would give them flowers, and Wendy their flowers, because they helped me. And so now I'm a moderator for TMFA because I was the only person in Chicago that really knew Chicago market. And so she saw that I was booking throughout these years. And so she was like, I would love for you to be moderator. I was like, I live for this moment.
That is a huge milestone because all those amazing people that you named, now you're one of them. You're up there now. That's a huge thing because knowing that Wendy trusts you like that must feel
Yeah.
really good, what you've been doing this whole time.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It's and I don't take it for granted at all. So I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's great. So you kind of already told us a little bit about your journey into acting. You just had a huge move
Yeah.
because you were in the Chicago market, but
Yes.
now tell us about that.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Chicago, and I came from, like I said, the web series that I did called Juke, A Chicago Story at 18. And it was like kind of like, soap opera about different things that's going on in the community. There we go.
You're good.
We hit over a million views on YouTube, and my name was Albert on the show. I was a comedian. I had two girlfriends on the show. I had a best friend named JJ. And we were just like messing around, ditching school, just like being teenage boys. And so his name is Maurice Diller. He gave me my first role on a hit web series, and I got a fan base from that. So I was in Chicago, and I was a senior in high school, and I started to get a lot of fan base from it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, wow, do I go away to college or do I stay here? And I wanted to go away to college. So I wanted to experience, the dorm life. And I went to a historical black college, actually. I went to Miles College in Birmingham, Alabama. I got some of my family is from Alabama. So
That's cool.
yeah, so shout out to Miles College, my alma mater, and also, Roll Tide or whatever, to University.
Know the Roll Tide. I think we all know the Roll Tide.
Yeah. So went away to college, and then I came back home, and I originally wanted to go to Atlanta after college, but I didn't save any money. I didn't have a job. I was still kind of just like, in this mindset of just like, I didn't think that college was going to go as fast as it did like high school did. So I thought that acting was going to be over for me. Like once I got to college, I thought, all right, when you get to college, because people were still in my head. They was like, you need to get a real job. Acting is not a real job. So my major was social work. And when I went into the classroom, the teacher was talking, and it was like, womp, 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 womp. I was like, no, I got to get up out of here.
Yeah.
So I ran out of the classroom, and I went to the counselor. I was like, this is not for me. Like, I'm going back home. And she was like, well, what is it that you want to truly do in life? I'm like, I want to tell stories. Now get into our theater department is kind of small. Oh, and I think they're taking it away actually. So how about the communications department? You can direct, you can write, you can edit, get behind the camera and production work. And I was like, okay. So I did that. I learned how to do everything as far as productions, PA work, direct, produce. I can read a teleprompter very well. It helped me with the commercials.
That's really helpful, actually.
Yeah, very helpful. And it taught me just like, the marketing of and like radio, TV, film, and public relations work. And I'm like, wow, you can learn so much in the communications department. Graduated and came back home. My aunt told me, if you want to get into business, start doing background work. So, as you know, Chicago, this is when Chicago Fire started, Chicago PD, Chicago Justice, Empire, Shameless. Like Chicago was getting it at one point.
They still are.
Yeah.
They still are.
Yeah, most definitely. But it's like it was way more during that time. And then I just started to get on set, and people was telling me like, go to this school for classes, go to these person for headshots, like do this. And I was writing it down. They're like, you need actor access, you need backstage, you need this, you need that. On top of Wendy. So I'm doing stuff in Chicago, and I'm listening to what HWC is saying, because some of the things that Wendy was saying align more so LA, New York versus Chicago.
Okay.
So it was like I was studying like Chicago and LA and New York. And so putting it all together. And then when Clubhouse came, started to listen to more things on there, people that I haven't met. So like social media was like a thing for me, because like I connected with so many people through social media. And so with Chicago independent world, I started to do like self-submitting for projects on Facebook groups in Chicago, like casting calls, and start to book stuff on like Tubi, Amazon Prime, film festivals, short films, and getting it. And then start to get in the major market and start to audition for One Chicago shows and commercials. And then I start to book. Chicago Fire was my first co-star booking.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yes, Claire.
That's cool.
Yes, Claire Simon. She was the casting director, and everybody was like trying to get to Claire at one point. I remember meeting her. Now during this time too, this is when like a lot of the police brutality stuff was going on. A lot of like looting, and like I was doing a lot of community work like too. So that's when I
Mm-hmm.
met Claire Simon, like helping clean up like all of the businesses that people were like tearing up, and it was a lot of like just stuff going on during the pandemic.
Yeah, yeah, it was just a shitty time. It really was.
How can we forget about that? So like trying to get into the business during that time was just like, this is 2019 going into 2020. And so, but I took it as, like, I'm going to learn this thing. Like, we're going to get out of this. And when we get out of it, I want to be strong. So I started taking classes, Zoom, listening to Instagram lives from all the casting directors everywhere around the world, still going with my mask and, to different workshops and different places and events and COVID testing and all of that stuff. So
Yeah.
I was determined. I've always been that way since I was younger. I was always just like this leader, just passionate. I'm like, because I wanted to be an actor when I was younger, but I thought you had to already live in LA. I thought you had to already be rich. And my parents was not going to go to LA. They just wasn't going to go. And I told them, I'm like, I want to be an actor. They just kind of just like, no, that's not what you want to do. Did all of that in Chicago. And then I got representation in Atlanta. And so I started to get a lot more auditions now because we're in the self-tape space now and we're in year 5 of self-tapes. And so I started to get a lot more auditions in Atlanta. So Chicago shows was just getting canceled. And so I'm just like, I think it's time for me to make that move to Atlanta because it's like, why not be in the opportunity in that space? Like, although we're in the self-tape world, but like being in that space
Yeah.
is just better because like, what if I'm booking? I just like, I got to keep flying back and forth.
And not only that, but like networking and getting with other actors in the area and just, doing what you were doing like in Chicago, going out there and
doing the same
and being in the mix.
Yeah, doing this, and I was doing that too. I was coming to Atlanta for different events like conferences and like big conferences and mixers. I would just like come, and a lot of people thought that I was already in Atlanta because I was coming to them, saving my money. And that's something that I want to, I know we're going to talk about later, like with that. So yeah, moving from Chicago, I was supposed to move last year, but things just always just happens, like as far as like money, your mind, like you just want to get your mind right. Really, it's just money. It's like I was just not saving right, just nervous of just going to another place by myself because I don't have any kids. I'm not married or anything like that. I just turned 30. So a lot of people are like, you got nothing to lose. But that's
true. I was going to say, welcome to the 30s.
Yeah.
It's amazing. 30s is going to be great.
Yeah, but I'm just like, no, I do have a lot to lose. My family is still here. My friends is here. I'm already established here. I'm comfortable here. You know what I'm saying? So going to somewhere else, I just like not going to know how people are and, what am I going to do if I don't have X, Y, and Z? I just was just like, you know what? If I don't go now, I'm never going to go. And so I was talking to people that already left, like my boy Shane Shiloh went to LA. He's been there for 2 years. And there's like different people that I know, like they moved. And like they told me, they like, you inspired me to move. And I moved. I'm like, I'm inspiring y'all, but I'm still here.
You're like, I'm still here having my own insecurities about it.
Yep. So what I did was I started to just pack. I'm like, this is it. I'm just going to pack the bag, put it to the side. Pack the bag, put it to the side. Slowly but surely. I made a date. I was like, I don't care what's going on, where I'm going to be. I need to make the decision. I need to find a place. And I was looking for jobs too while I was doing it. And I was getting interviews. And so the job aligned, the apartment, the place aligned. And it was just like, barely don't have any savings. But I'm like, make it through. Make it with what you got. And so right before I left, got an audition for Chicago PD. And I booked it. And I took that money and I was like, here we go. And so here I am in Atlanta, and I didn't make the announcement until a month later because there's a lot of people that will prey on your downfall. There is people that will say he's not going to make it. What is he doing down there? He needs to go back. Like, I hope something happens. Like, there are people out there. So I was already here. I was still slowly but surely going back on the weekends to like pick up some more stuff from home or some more events that I needed to just like attend. And I did tell some people, like some of my close friends knew, but even like some of my real close friends was like, you didn't even tell me. Like, how did you? So I just put it out there, and everybody's like, oh my God. Like, I got so much love. I cried. I even filmed it too. Eventually, I'm going to put a vlog up on YouTube and like Instagram, like my journey. I've been slowly but surely vlogging. Yeah, so I vlogged it and I prayed about it. And when I got here, I went straight to work. I had everything, and I was staying at a hotel. I stayed in the hotel, but I had everything. And I went to work on the first day. I checked in the hotel and went right to work. I didn't even check into
Wow.
my place. And I was like, oh, this is happening. This is going to go on. I don't care what. And so much was going on in my mind. It's like, you crazy. Like, how? Like, go back home. What are you doing? And this and that and the third. And like, but then once I settled in and like looked around, I'm like, wow, I'm actually here. And then some of the people that I was connected with here, or like when they saw my post, people connected me. Anything you need, Will, you let me know. You need a plate? You
Wow.
need a home cooked meal? You need some groceries? You need, let me introduce you to some people. Here's some events to go to. Like,
Wow, that's so
it's just
nice.
like so much love. Like family members that I forgot was here is like, call me. Like, come, you need help moving in. I
Yeah.
was just like overflow with love. And that comes with being just a nice person and, respecting people and just, being nice pays the price. You don't have to kiss
Yeah.
ass. You don't have to sell your soul or do nothing crazy. Just, I do so much for people that I get the same love. And sometimes I be thinking like, sometimes I just want to be independent. But sometimes I just let people know, certain things. And like, there are people that can help you, in this world. So yeah, here I am now, networking like
Yes.
crazy. I did a skit, I did the music videos. I'm doing independent projects on top of still auditioning. Because, we're not waiting, we're still creating. And, man, I'm loving it. I love the weather, the people. I'm just like, this is it. They call Atlanta the Black Hollywood. So, but I'm like, this is it right here. This is the place to be.
It's booming right now. That
Yeah.
market is so huge right now.
Thank
Like
you.
for real. Like Tyler Perry, where you at?
Right, exactly. And it's crazy because I live so close. I stay like 5 minutes away. And I was like, wow. I didn't even like think
Oh.
of, like, I was just like, wow. So,
Yeah, this was totally supposed to happen for you. So
yeah.
I'm glad that you didn't listen to those doubts
No.
and you pushed through it and you stayed on
Months.
track.
6 months I've been here. 6 months. Yeah.
I'm proud of you, Will. That's
Thank
amazing.
you.
Yeah, not a lot of people are able to do that, with whatever circumstances
I
or
didn't think
they're
I was.
blocking it themselves.
I don't care what happened. I ain't going back. I love my city. Don't get me wrong. I love Chicago. Like I do, that's dear to my heart. But it's just time to go. Level up. That's just like
Yeah,
somebody that's in Utah or something, and they're trying to. You can't make it as really the actor in that place. You have to physically still be there. Yes, we're in the self tape world, but there's stuff still going on in person, like
right.
festivals and events and theater and all kind of events.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much. All it takes is ambition. It doesn't take a lot of money.
That's true. 100%.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. And I think that wherever you are, if you are an actor and you want this for yourself, start where you're at. You start in theaters, start, like you did with the Facebook in your city. I mean, self tape, I'm in the LA market, but
Yeah.
it's just nice not having to go and find parking and like deal with the traffic. And, you know what I mean? Like it's such a pain in the ass. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love a good live audition and it's great being in the room, but in the LA market, New York too, I'm sure it's just it's a
Atlanta too.
crazy.
Atlanta, the traffic.
I bet.
Honestly,
Oh,
I
I
feel
bet.
like everywhere. Chicago is crazy with the traffic. I feel like every major
Yes,
cities is just crazy traffic.
it's so bad. Yeah, and especially with the fires and stuff in LA. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so bad right now.
Yeah.
Still praying for LA, by the way.
Yeah, me too.
Yes. Well, let's talk about networking a little bit and like energy, like, I guess the etiquette
Yeah.
of networking. And when to know, because sometimes you try to network with some people and they're just not having it, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going about it the right way. Maybe the energy's off.
Ooh, and networking, I get networking from my family. Like my grandmother, she knows everybody in Chicago. My mom knows everybody. And then when I say their name, they're like, "Is Miss Louise, is that your grandmother? I love her, this and that." And I'm like, wow. And sometimes when me and my mom, we go back and forth about like whenever we're out somewhere and then people be like, "Oh, such," and She's like, you know everybody. I'm like, no, that's you that know everybody. So it's so funny. But my people taught me networking. Your network is your net worth. So it's about who you know and what you know. So, but your what you know can lead you to who you know. And for me, it's just about just being just a genuine person, and like, because everybody's not outgoing. It's not, everybody's not the all bubbly or friendly. Everybody, you have the people. Sometimes I can be like that. Sometimes I can. Social battery is off, and a lot of people probably expect that from me too, because I have this big platform, and like we humans is still at the end of the day. But some people just have it on all the time, and so networking can be tough. It can be hard, especially when you go somewhere and then you're trying to work with them and then they just look at you strange, or they just want something out of me. They don't really care. So you have to do your research on people. Do your research on people. Introduce yourself. Just say, hi, I'm such and such, or acknowledge them like, are you such and such? Let them know, like, I'm a fan of yours. I watch such and such, or give them a compliment. I really like your outfit, or find something about them that like, oh, you from Chicago? I'm from Chicago too. Oh, what high school did you go to? I went to such and such. Yeah, we played y'all, but we always win, So find something about them that you can relate to. That's a tip. Compliment them. That's a tip. Find something that you like, and don't just be fake about it. Like, be real about it. And yeah, like I said, research. Find something that you like and that you admire, and then say that you would love to connect, with them, or how can I reach you, or how can I follow you, or it's just that simple. Don't make it hard. Don't make it complicated. You'll feel the energy. You'll feel whether people want to talk to you or they don't want to talk to you. Cut it short. Keep it simple, sweet and simple. You don't have to network with every single person there. As long as you leave with one contact, that's good. You did your part. If you meet one person a day, that's 365 contacts in your phone.
That's a great piece of advice, actors.
Yeah, meet one person.
That is amazing advice.
Yeah, meet one person. It doesn't even have to be an actor event. You can meet somebody at a store, or talk to the maintenance people. Talk to the people at the catering that's making the food. Wow, this is amazing. Such and such, like, can I get your business card? Talk to the host, the people at the front. Thank you for letting me in. What's your name?
Yeah.
Connect. So networking.
And also for actors, if you're networking on social media, don't just come at them like in the DMs and be like, oh my God, I love you so much. Just let it kind of grow. Don't come so hard. Show that you're there and show that you're watching. It's kind of like you were saying, you'll feel the energy. Then they'll start to notice you, and make sure you're doing what you're doing on Instagram or social media. And so when they do go to look at your profile and say, who is this girl that's always responding to my story? She's so supportive. Then they might look at you and be like, oh shit, she's talented. Let me follow her. Don't be doing that. That's bad luck.
Make it personal. And also too, I mean, just because I just reach out to somebody or talk to somebody, that doesn't mean they have to respond back or talk to you back. Just because I'm going to go talk to somebody and I expect for them to talk. They don't have to if they don't want to. You can't force relationships on people. Give people their space and their time and their grace, and like, if they don't want to talk, they just don't want to talk, So it just is what it is.
So true. And part of that, I want to go into mindset a little bit before we get into questions and your business too, because I do want to talk about your business. We can do that right now. But as far as, because that can kind of ruin a mindset a little bit. There's a lot of things that are hard in this business that are going to knock you down, make you feel judged, make you question yourself, your insecurities. What would your advice be for actors or anybody really to have a positive mindset? Because I know there's a lot of stuff out there about this right now with Mel Robbins and her podcast, and she's amazing. But from your point of view, what keeps you going, and what advice could you give?
So I always go find motivational quotes, go listen to motivational podcasts and books, and listening to motivational speakers. And I think about and find other people that around me that are always just talking nice and positive about where they're trying to go, what they're trying to do, and collaborate. Your community is key.
Yes.
So
be very picky with your community.
Yeah. So if you're around people that are just negative and nothing is good about anything, stay away from them. And that's going to be sometimes your family. close friends. You just have to do that for yourself. And sometimes I'll meet strangers or people and it's like, man, we just met and like we just connected on so much. You know, you pouring so much into me and like speaking so much about me, and it's like, wow, you just met me. How did you know like this? It's crazy. So that's what I do. Like I just go, read something, find something of like who has been in my shoes. Like there's nobody just wakes up rich, wakes up, with like talented and like everybody's going through something physically, spiritually, mentally, physically. And so how are they handling things? And money is not the answer to everything. So what is making you happy? What brings you joy? There's got to be something. You have to find something. And Will, how do I find it? You just know. You just know what makes you feel good. What makes you wake up every day, and you just you have to find it, whatever it is, and be thankful. Be grateful where you are. Be grateful of like the small things of like, I'm just so happy that I got this water right now. A lot of people don't have water. Thank God for me having water to drink and to just give me energy so that I can be the best person, not actor, the best person that I can be. Thank God I'm able to drive. If I don't have a car, thank God I'm able to walk, talk. So once you start from there, I think it will help you motivate you to the bigger stuff, because if you were just caring about the bigger stuff, like you are not going to be able to handle it and appreciate it.
And also being thankful for the downfalls too.
Yes.
Because those are lessons too. That's where we learn is when we are judged. Okay, now I have an opportunity to respond.
Yes.
So how am I going to respond?
Yes.
Be thankful for those things.
Yeah.
And whoever you're thankful to.
Yeah.
I thank God every day that I am going through whatever trials and tribulations that I go through every day. I know that it's because of bigger picture, and you just have to trust in what you're doing. You have to trust yourself. That's exactly what I do, Will. That is exactly what I go straight to: a podcast, a book, quotes. I'll go to Pinterest. I'll look up quotes to make me feel better. Just things that will pull you out of that rut. And then eventually you'll start to feel really inspired and be like, F that. Like, I'm better than that.
Yeah.
I know better now. I'm healed. Yeah. And last week I read this quote, and you know what? My mindset changed like that. And so now I know that you're just a hater, or you're just whatever it is. You know what I mean? Not towards anybody in particular, making that very clear.
Yeah.
But in general, trust yourself and believe in what you're doing.
Yes. Deep breaths.
Yeah.
You're your biggest cheerleader at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You can have so many people tell you this and that and the third, but you have to tell yourself, and you have to remind yourself sometimes. And so it's going to take, affirmations and looking yourself in the mirror and just like, okay, talking to yourself sometimes. Like, they're like, oh, that's crazy. It's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's motivating me. Like, it gets me going. So it's just different stuff every day, all day. I'm consistently doing it every single day. When I'm waking up, when I'm down, and there's sometimes where I don't feel motivated. All right. This is just temporary. This is only temporary.
I love that. It is so temporary. And you have a choice too. Yep. It's okay to have a bad day or a bad moment, whatever, as long as on the outs, you're coming out from the other side of it with a positive, or you learned a lesson from it.
Yeah. Yes.
Now look at me. I'm sounding like a freaking Hallmark card. This is, it is so huge. I'm so proud of you. It's such a huge booming. Like, it's not even just a business. It's literally a community that you've created. Yeah. And it's so fantastic. Tell us about your business and what you offer to your clients.
Absolutely. It's Actor Advisor. So it started when I was booking stuff and people was asking me like left and right, how do you get an agent? How did you book this? And I was just telling people like, this is what people was telling me. And it was just so many people that was doing it until an old friend of mine was like, you need to make this out of a business. And I was like, I don't. Oh, no. First of all, I don't want to deal with people and their shenanigans. And I'm like, I don't think that people will listen to me. So he was like, try it out.
Where's that self-doubt again?
Yep. And he was like, try it anyway. I was like, all right, you're going to have to help me out. And so I'm like, I'm not doing this by myself. And so I was like, I'll just charge the next person that asked me. I'm like, I'll charge like $25. Let's just do it. Boom. I was telling them, I was like, if you give me $25, I'll tell you what I did. And all of this was coming too from Wendy. Wendy taught me a lot of stuff on top of the stuff that I was learning from Chicago kid. So get the headshots, get the resume, get the reel, take these classes, do this, and then boom,
Yes.
signed. I'm like, okay. Then this person, same thing, sign. Then I was like, all right, let me my prices up a little bit more, $40 now. Sign. I was like, oh, this is a real thing. Now here we are, 157 people getting signed to agents and managers across the board. And just me like learning headshot photographers, learning agents, learning managers, listening to podcasts that they were on, watching their Instagram pages when they're on Instagram Live, studying headshot photographers. What's their style? Oh no, that's Sean. That's Michael Round. That's Cameron Radis. I know how this agent works. They like to do this. They say this in the email, So people were getting signed left and right. And I was like, wow. And I came up with Actor Advisor, and it was like a creative name. There was this platform called the Actors Blueprint with Mike Dolphy and Roman. And so they actually inspired me because they were doing it in LA and New York. And so there was nobody in Chicago that was doing it. And so I was like, I'm going to be the person in Chicago. So we used to do clubhouse rooms together all the time. Yeah, so it would be Actors Blueprint, Actor Advisor. So I told Wendy, she was like, that's great. Like, that you let me know if you need some help. And so she's like, I'll send people to your way. And so because I studied at all the schools in Chicago, I took headshots with most of the headshot photographers, and I started to book with every casting director. And so
you knew the market well,
yeah.
So you were ready. Yeah, like you were hands on.
Yep.
You're like, I got something here.
Yep. And so it's just like crazy, like, because I was just like, wow. And now I even have kid actors, like my mentee, he's 10, he's my youngest client. He just booked a major show in LA that's a kids kind of show, kids and adults, but it's an Emmy show. And he didn't have an agent. He didn't have a manager. I met him at a demo reel company because I was working with a production company that do demo reels for people in Chicago. And so we did it for him in Atlanta. And I was talking to his mom, and I was like, he's got something here. He didn't even have nothing. All he told her was he needs a demo reel. He didn't even have headshots. And so I was his same partner for the demo reel. And I was like, this kid's got something here. I was like, look, you don't know me from the can of paint. I know it's weird, but like I'm real, I'm legit. I have a business where I help people get signed to agents and managers. In order to get on TV and film, you need an agent and manager to get auditions to these people. Like, you hear anything else? Let me tell you. I was like, look, trust me on this. And I'm like, I know you don't know me, but like, listen. And so she listened to everything that I said. The agents were knocking at this door for him. Only 1 month in. And he does everything. Baseball, football, basketball, rides a horse. He's top in his class. Very, very smart young man too. Very respectable. Started auditioning like crazy. I coach him on his auditions. And now he booked his first co-star. It hasn't even been a year. In LA. He's in Atlanta, but he flew to LA. I got him an agent and manager. So stories like that, I'm like, I got so many stories. I have another story of like my client got him signed within 2 weeks. Boom. We booked a major One Chicago show, guest star, 2 weeks. Like so many.
That's huge what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Yeah. So Actor Advisor is just more than that. Like I really pour into people. I really tell them like you can be the best actor you want to be. Like people tell me like I don't have the support, I don't have the money. I'm like, no excuses. Go get the money. Go get the job. Go do this. Do that. Cut those people out. My significant other isn't supporting. Get that divorce. It's not helping. I'm sorry, but you have to stop going out. Cut that money. Save. Stop buying clothes. You make the time and money for this. You can make time and money for that. So I get it from Wendy too. Like it's the Virgo in us. So yeah, she's no nonsense, no BS, and I am too. So I'm like no nonsense, no BS. So that's what I give my clients: no nonsense, no BS. I'm like I put my money, time, energy, effort. Casting directors have found out who I am. Agents found out who I am. It's crazy. I had an agent call me and was like, we like this person, but we don't take unsolicited materials, but we know that you help people. Can you help them? I was like, they have a great look, but they need X, Y, and Z. And I was like, yes, I would love to. I was like, who would ever think?
Dude, that's so cool, man.
Who would ever think the little kid from Chicago on the South Side would be in the world of Hollywood and helping people. I needed to help myself, and now I'm helping other people. Especially, like, I'm actually giving into their careers. I'm like, nobody's doing that. And then, of course, you got the trolls, the people. He don't know what he's talking about. He's a scam. That's too much money to be paying somebody. You could do it yourself and all kind of stuff. I'm like, yes, you could do it yourself if you want to. All the stuff I'm saying is on YouTube. It's out there. But I'm literally handhelding you to, like, giving you the platform and the X, Y, and Z.
Right.
We're going over it weekly. Are you doing this? Are you doing this checklist? Are you listening to this podcast? You need to read these books. You need to go to this event. This is what you need to say at the event. You need to wear this in your headshots. What's your budget for headshots? Are you self-submitting? Are you getting coached on your auditions? Are you getting feedback? Like, if you're not doing all of that, then you're not going to get it. And so there's nobody out there to do that for you. And so I'm doing it. I'm pouring way more in for the money that I'm charging. Because for me, it's not about the money. It's about the opportunity. And because of that, I've got an opportunity because I'm pouring
Right.
in. And, like, people, like, pros, like, well, what's in it for him? What does he want from this? And it's like, it's so crazy, like, trolls and people. I'm just like,
what does he want? What to help?
exactly. I'm like, he's throwing people under the bus so he can get to the top. I was like, how? You should hear the trolls. I'm telling you, it'd be so funny. I'm like, the people that are saying that are either cheap or they just got this ego. They don't know any better. Like, I'm still learning for myself. I call myself the actor advisor, but I'm still learning. I'm still auditioning. I'm just going based off from what I know from my experience. You know what I'm saying? I don't want anything but I feel like my calling is to motivate people to be the best at whatever it is what they want to be in life. And it so happened that it is actors. And people ask me too, like, well, Will, you ever thought about being an agent? Or you ever thought about being a manager or a casting director? And I was like, no, and no. I was like, if I was, I'll be a damn good agent or damn good man.
You'd be a great manager and agent for sure.
And if I was, I would be the first African-American male in Chicago to have his own agency. If I did, that would have made history. There's black women, but there's not a black male SAG franchise agent. And I thought about it. It has been a thought. I was like, if I was, I think I would have a lot of support from that.
100%.
Like, who knows what later down the years or what that might, who knows. I really enjoy acting and I really enjoy helping people. So that's my main thing. I actually want to open up a school though. That is my goal, is to open up a studio, a school.
Oh, nice.
That's how Actor Advisor came about. And so here I am still doing it. And yeah, it's been great. People send me gifts, tips, take me out to brunch, lunch, dinner, everything. And I'll just be like, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's like, no, Will, you do more for me. Here's a tip. I'm like, thank you. Wow. Like, they're like, you've changed my life. I went to one of my clients' premiere party. And then, he made a toast and cheers. She's like, this guy right here is the reason why I did it. And I was just like, don't make me. Like, it's just a blessing. I want to leave a legacy here in this world. And so I feel like Actor Advisor was that. So,
yeah. And that comes from your background in social work. I mean, this is literally who you are. So I know that you don't let it bother you, but honestly, the people that believe in you, we see what you're doing. You don't listen to that shit. That's crazy. Because what you're doing is fantastic for people. The proof is in the pudding, and people just
I listen to Wendy. Who's my Wendy? I always go back to Wendy. I'm like, because Wendy gets trolled all day long. She tells me like, I love it. She be like, people email me all the time, you fat bitch, and blah, 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 blah. What do you do, Wendy? What do you do? What do you say? And she's like, fuck them. I do this and that and third. Like, listen, and I'm like, I love you, Wendy. I love you so much. That's my girl. And when they play about Wendy, I do not play about Wendy. That's why I'm glad she made me a moderator. I was like, how dare you say this and that and the third? Like, I'm like, how dare you?
Yes, that's crazy.
I know.
I'm going to have the information for Hollywood Winter Circle in the description for everybody, because if you're an actor, you need to get in there and you need to get with Wendy. And also, I'm going to have Will's information in the description, all of your Instagram, because you do a lot of stuff. So you're great on social media. You post some really cool stuff, like the audition compared to the booking, which I totally stole because I booked a commercial a couple months ago and I totally stole the idea. Posted my audition. And I should have tagged you in it. I don't know
love
why I did.
it.
I'm gonna have to give you credit for that. Well, let's get into some questions before we hop off.
Absolutely.
The biggest one I got actually was about Chicago. So how to break into the Chicago market and the Chicago One shows was a bit. I had a lot of DMs on that one.
Oh, this is good. This is really good. So if you're Chicago, there's a group called Chicago Actors Connect on Facebook. Get into classes in Chicago. That's the best way to get in the Chicago market, into classes, train where the schools are at. Vagabond School of Arts, the Actor Studio Chicago, the Forge Chicago, Black Box Studio. Those are like the four main ones in Chicago that they teach on camera, Meisner, audition technique, commercial auditions, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They bring in agents. They bring in casting. They know the market. So that's one of the best ways, is to train. It's more than just getting down to the books and the skill. It's about the community. You're going to meet also actors as well. So, hey, that's how you get readers. There's other actors as writers, directors. You connect with them in class. You can collaborate. Now y'all making films together, like the coach or the instructor. They know agents and managers. They can refer you. You train with them long enough. They can say, this guy, this girl, she's amazing. Casting, they see you. They know that you're working. You invested your time, your money, and energy. Don't think that they don't see you. It's not a waste of time. It's not a pay for play. They need you just as well as you need them. And so then community theater, film festivals. There's so many film festivals. You don't have to just do the big ones. There's smaller ones. Reach out to people in the Chicago market. Somebody's going to say something if you reach out. If you're not in Chicago market, the One Chicago shows are now cast. It used to be cast in Chicago, but now they're cast from New York and LA. So you don't have to necessarily be there anymore. It's always kind of been like that for the series regulars and recurring. They've always cast from those markets, but we had an agent's casting here that no longer casted. So now they gave it to the ones that were casting some of the bigger ones now. And so now everybody can get a One Chicago show. And literally even the smaller markets are getting the One Chicago. So if you have an agent, they can submit you for the guest star recurring series regular. Now for the co-stars, I've heard now that they're even giving to certain markets now too. So if you have an agent or a manager, it most likely can get you. Now the ones that are in Chicago, of course, are getting the ones mostly because they're in Chicago. But there are still people from other markets booking and just, flying in. Just like they're saying they're local hires in Chicago, and like we're saying we're local hires in LA, New York or Atlanta or wherever. So everybody's getting a One Chicago. And you can see it too on agency pages that are like from different markets. And they're like, this person's booked One Chicago, this book's One Chicago. So like you could see it. Look on IMDB and you'll see like some of these people there. Everybody's not there, traceability. Just like everybody's not in LA, everybody's or they might be, they might have people out there or whatever the case may be. But
that's going to be really helpful, because there were a lot of actors from HWC that were wondering how to get in with those shows, because maybe they are in the market. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So like me, like I was Jefferson. I was doing Show Up to Book the Room. So that's how he was bringing in Nick Picario like every month, and I was doing the workshop last year. Every time Nick was there, I was there, right there. And so I did like 6 times. And I'm like, I told my agent Velma, I was like, hey, I did the class with Nick Picario. He said I did great. And so she would pitch that. So do some casting director workshop. No, Sarah Isaacson, she doesn't really do casting director workshops from Chicago. Jonathan Strauss, though, they do. Nick Picario, Ricky, they always are like in classes and in schools. And if you're great, don't just get in just because you think that's going to get you in. Like if you're great and you're right for the role and your agent is submitting you and you got great headshots and they know your work, and they'll pick you eventually because, you're doing great work and you're right for the role. Like you are right there on the money, and they see you and they know you and they trust you. That's the main thing. They know you, they see you, they trust you. They trust your agent. So your agent and your manager is always going to be your person that you're going to go to that's going to advocate for you and pitch that. So you need the right team on top of yourself. So you're you first, then them. So if you have the coach or the school to see it, the agents see it, and then you doing the work, it all's going to align.
Yes.
So,
Oh my gosh. So amazing.
yes.
This was so fun. Well, maybe we can have you back on because I feel like we could do a part 2.
Yeah.
If you're
I'm
down, because I still
down.
have lots more questions for
I'm
you.
down with the get down.
Yes. Maybe next week or the week after we can see, get you back on,
Yeah.
because I think this is going to be really, really helpful for people.
Yes.
And I love what you're doing, Will. I've watched you grow, and I've seen all your wins and
Yes.
everything that you've posted in Hollywood Winter Circle.
Yes.
And so, sometimes you don't see the support all the time.
Yeah.
So just know that there is the support there.
Thank you so much.
And
you.
I wish you so much luck in your business.
Thank you.
I think that you have something really special there.
Thank you.
And I think that you're a great actor on top of it.
Thank you.
You are talented.
Thank you. Thank you.
And yeah, just thank you.
Thank you for having me. And I'm glad that you were doing this. Like, I've been seeing it, and I'm like, I'm going to reach out to her, and let her know that I see her. So thank you. So we're all in this together. So
Yes.
love it.
Yeah. I cheer on everybody from HWC, TMFA. Like, everyone's killing it.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
well, thank you guys for joining us for another episode. We're going to have Will back. Again, all his information is in the box down below, whatever it is that you're watching. Thank you. And I will see you guys again, maybe next week. All right. Bye.
All right, y'all.
See ya.